Holocaust Remembrance Day, also known as Yom HaShoah, is a solemn day dedicated to commemorating the 6 million Jews who perished in the Holocaust, as well as the millions of other victims of Nazi persecution. It serves as a poignant reminder of the atrocities committed during one of the darkest periods in human history. It is our collective responsibility to remember the Holocaust, to educate future generations about the horrors of genocide, and to strive for a world where peace, tolerance, and understanding prevail. Please join me today in this event at the Capitol Visitor Center and watch my interviews with Congressman John Lawson and other diplomats from Portugal, Netherlands, and Greece, and many, many others to know more about The Rescuer. It's a movie that you must watch. Please follow me to this event.
Indifference is action.
Yes.
And what these ambassadors did, and when they did it, and the courage that it took, and how many people they helped, restores your faith in human dignity.
So you are here now, you're sponsoring this event. Can you give us more details about what's going on now in Odessa?
Sure. No, I'm happy to. Well, Joyce Mandel is really the sponsor of the event. I'm one of her dear friends, but her and Michael King have just done an outstanding job of putting together the rescue box, etc. She knows it's come back in 2011. But I think to use this as an instructive tool in teaching, and Michael's going to develop even further ways to utilize this in the future as a teaching tool. But to highlight the role that our ambassadors play in the Congressional Gold Medal, so Bill, I'm proud to be a sponsor.
Yeah, that's amazing. One word about what's going on in the American universities?
Yes. Well, I think that, again, I'll go back to myself. When you have a time like this, and you see more than ever before what's happening in universities, especially the groups, both Jewish and Muslim, who have been singled out, and the prejudice that exists. It's not hard. Reason for us to make sure that we're demonstrating free speech and protest on a college campus. But there's no place for violence, and there's no place for discrimination. And unfortunately, that still prevails and is hurtful when it happens where you're expecting that totally respect people's rights and protest word that they would be useful. But I respect their right. But
that's not the right way to do it. One more question. If John Kennedy were alive, how he would deal with this crisis and what he would do, what his administration would do?
Well, I think President Kennedy always had a way of touching the human heart, which is upon the better instincts in all people to prevail, accepting and the diversity that human beings bring.
Thank you so much. We hope to have more interviews in a later time. Thank you. Your Excellency, I'm so glad to see you today. Tell us what is your message and in this day commemorating the Holocaust events. What can you tell the Jewish people? What is your message?
We should never forget. We should never forget what has happened. And I think all of us, everyone in the world should watch a documentary called The Rescuers and see what people are capable of doing in a good sense. And inspire us to become better persons.
Can you tell us more about the events happening now in Gaza? How this conflict can end? Okay, many of the ambassadors have participated in rescuing people, the Jewish people in the Holocaust time. What was the role of Netherlands at that time?
Well, as always, in many other countries, we had people who were fighting against the occupation and were saving Jews, but we also had people who collaborated with the Nazi regime. So there were both kinds of people in the Netherlands, as in other countries.
What is your message to the world for peace?
For peace? Yeah, for peace. Never give up.
Thank you. Ezra, introduce your guest and just do the...
This is Abe Foxman, who's the chairman of the Forgotten Heroes of the Holocaust Congressional Gold Medal Committee. Someone who's a revered name in our community, foremost Jewish leader for decades, and he's here today.
What is your word for this event? I mean, remembering...
This is support. This is an event to recognize heroes that people don't know about. Diplomats who risked their careers, some even their livelihood and lives, to help save Jews. So, especially today, we commemorate tonight and tomorrow Holocaust Remembrance Day. It's important to remember the victims, but it's also important to remember the good people, the people who stood up, who did the right thing to save other people, to save Jews. So this is an event about diplomats. We hope to get congressional recognition of the 60 diplomats. So we support and embrace this event.
What are your thoughts about what's going on in Gaza right now and the Netanyahu?
Well, it's not very clear what's going on in Gaza. Hamas is playing their game. And so at this moment, neither Israel nor the United States is jumping aboard what looks like a ploy. So we all hope for peace. We all hope for the hostages to be released. We all hope for the war to end, but not if it's games. And this looks like it's games. So I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it'll be a good thing. But we need to be patient.
Ezra, can you add some of your thoughts on the war now, what's going on, the negotiations?
Second what Abe says.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look, I think it's more important than ever to commemorate and to remember the Holocaust, because it's been a long time now. Not many people are alive. I mean, perhaps fewer and fewer, so it's more important than ever, because the next generation will know of the Holocaust by learning, by hearsay. So I think it's very timely that we are here, and this is, there's no more important cause than the peace and defense of everyone.
Do you think that the Jewish people are facing another Holocaust these days, comparing to the events in Gaza?
I hope they're not facing an Holocaust, but I think there's a lot of anti-Semitism going around, that's for sure. So, and this is, you might say this is the beginning. It's up to us to make sure that there's no continuation, that this stops here.
What about what's happening in the universities in the US?
Look, it seems to me, some of these events show exactly, demonstrate why we should be here, because these people don't seem to know much of history, and they are, seems to me, engaged in many acts of anti-Semitism.
Are you aware about who's financing these actions?
Look, I've heard, but I've not studied. I don't know for sure. I would prefer. I've heard about it, but I'm not, it's not my job to
of course.
To
Can
go
you introduce
and investigate.
yourself?
I'm Henrique Henriquez. I'm a diplomat at the Portuguese embassy, and I came here. One of the direct reason is because Aristide Sousa Mendes, he was a diplomat, and he gave 30,000 visas to Jewish people, mainly, and others in the south of France when Germany invaded and beat France and allowed them to escape. So that's why I'm here to celebrate his memory. He did this without authorization of his government, and he suffered for it. So he did the right thing despite the personal hardship that he endured afterwards.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it's a wonderful event to have this movie today here in order to remember all those heroes that saved so many lives. And I am extremely happy because, as you might be aware of, Spain had 7 of them, 7 diplomats, 7 brave diplomats that during the regime of General Franco saved lots of lives of Jewish refugees who were received by the Spanish legations and missions and were sent over out of Europe. So names like Sant Pris, that we call in Spain the Angel of Budapest, are very important in the Spanish imaginarium, and we really celebrate the fact that now all the important persons in Washington are going to be attending this movie, this documentary that is paying honoring not only the Spanish heroes, of course, but so many brave diplomats that were so important and will always be remembered by the humankind. Thank you very much.
Hello, this is a very important event to honor the Holocaust Remembrance Day today, and we're here to honor the great people who risked their lives to rescue innocent people. Thank you.
To learn. There's not enough of it. As the great Elie Wiesel said, action is the only remedy to indifference. And the action taken by those ambassadors, and frankly, the action that needs to be taken today, as we look at our college campuses and see the rise of violence that is taking place, and whether it's anti-Semitism or Islamophobia, action is what's required on behalf of people of goodwill and understanding who can follow the example that those brave ambassadors have set down. So now, on with the screening.
Dr. Edmund Duckfist, lawyer, Universities of Heidelberg and Geneva, more than 40 years of public service, worked in the diplomatic service of Germany's ambassador in the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and the Netherlands, Deputy Director General for Foreign and Security Policy and Development Cooperation in the Office of Chancellor Kohl, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of Germany to NATO and the European Union, and finally Ambassador in Mexico. Do you sleep, my friend? After retirement in 2014, now still active in a Mexican law firm. Our second guest this evening, Ellen Germain. Ellen Germain is a U.S. Special Envoy for Holocaust issues. She is a career diplomat with the United States State Department and has served in Tel Aviv, London, Moscow, Baghdad, Krakow, and Sarajevo, as well as here in Washington, D.C., and the U.S. mission to the United Nations in New York. Thank you, Ellen, for being with us. And Ambassador, it's nice to have you with us as well, Brigitte Tazelaar. Brigitte Tazelaar is the Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in the United States. She's been a career diplomat for over 30 years and has worked in The Hague, London, and Jerusalem on politics, human rights, and development cooperation. Before joining the Foreign Service, Brigitte, Ambassador Tazelaar, more properly, worked for a Dutch development organization in Botswana. We have an incredible panel gathered for this conversation and a terrific film for you to see momentarily. Tonight is about a series of different things. I think you will find this is a night where the focus, we hope, is about hope in the face of heartbreak. It is about hope in the face of heartbreak, obviously, as I think what will define this whole experience, but also really, I think, courage in the face of just unimaginable cruelty. As you're reminded in this film and reminded by some of the things we're witnessing today, this conversation could not be any more relevant, and it's that where we start. There's one of the leads, our guide in the film The Rescuers, is a young woman named Stephanie from Rwanda, and we should honor those from so many of the countries that are featured in this film and throughout the world that are here to be a part of this tonight. Morocco, Rwanda, Sweden, the United States, and so many other places. Please, for all of those from different countries and from here in the United States, we thank you and we celebrate you for being a part to honor the lives of these who made such a difference for so many others. Stephanie, our guide throughout this film, says, among other things, she says, in each of our lives, there's a responsibility to make the world a better place. And she also says something that I thought was as powerful as any. It takes good men and women to be silent for evil to triumph. And it was because these individuals were not silent, because these individuals stood up, many with limited authority, that so many were able to survive. So it's in their honor that we have this conversation, and that's where I want to start the conversation with you.
Hey, Maria Maloof here. Please click to like and subscribe to Maria Maloof TV YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.